So it's a journey of becoming that to which we aspire, and that can be anything. Uh, uh, it's going to, of necessity, require new relationship and connections with new people and in voices, and and in its best instances. I think it's when we reach beyond ourselves and what is familiar and the people and faces who are familiar and recognize that the goodness of community is when the whole of the community becomes part of the conversation. We learn from one another and we will be awakened by one another in surprising ways. We will be transformed together, when we can learn to step vulnerably into an unknown space together and begin that journey. So it's always exciting. And I always want to remind myself and those that I speak to about transformation, if you think you have an idea of what the end of the journey is going to look like, you need to stop right now and put down the baggage you've brought into it. Because if you already have an idea of what it is you think it is that you are here to grow into, you haven't fully allowed yourself to enter into this journey with other people and other voices so that you might discover together. And I'm a Holy Spirit person. When we invite the Spirit of God into that, God will lead us. So we're about listening and discerning communally together with your friends, with your community, where it is God is leading us. I believe in that possibility profoundly. And I think the only limiting factor is our timidness in letting go to it.
I was visiting a little town in South Carolina called McClellanville, South Carolina, that they were hit by a hurricane. And because it was this little bitty town, the aid for the hurricane relief didn't get there at the same rate that it got to the bigger cities. People lost their homes. A lot of people lost their homes. And when I was there were still shrimp boats up in people's yards and things like that a year later. But what that experience, that shared experience did was people they shared homes, right? So if my neighbor's home was gone, I invited their family to live with my family if I still had a house. And a lot of people's means of livelihood was gone. And so, so we're all going to go fishing in the bay, and we're going to share what we get, and we're going to grow some food, and we're going to share the food. And that just that whole community had that sense of we are surviving together, and we are learning to thrive together.
I think that community transformation comes out of the experiences we have when we are involved and become part of a community. We may come together because of a common concern, need, or desire to learn something new. Through the Transformational Communities Network, I see transformation occur when teams come together as a learning community to share what they are learning from their ministry connections in the community as they ask questions and soon realize that others are asking the same.